afternoon, bonjour.
She's leading the independent review
How are you?
on OIOS. She'll be giving a brief remark, and then we're going to take one or two questions. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Sharon. Good afternoon, everyone. And I must tell you, I'm delighted to be here in my new capacity of chair of the UNRWA Independent Review Group. And thank you for your interest in this. As you know, the UNRWA Independent Review intends to assess whether UNRWA is doing everything in its power to ensure neutrality and to respond to allegations of serious breaches when they are made. I had the opportunity to meet with the Secretary General just a short while ago to discuss the group's term of reference and see how the group can best deliver on its objective within the very short time frame of this mission. It's 2 months. You might have seen that. We already had some conversations with Mr. Guterres earlier, of course, earlier than today, but it was important and useful to meet with him today and talk extensively with him. As you know, the Secretary General announced this independent review group on the 5th of February, and the group includes 3 research organizations: the Raoul Wallenberg Institute of Sweden, the Christian Michelsen Institute in Norway, and the Danish Human Rights Institute for Denmark. We officially started our mission about a week ago on the 13th of February, so 1 day ahead of time, which is always good, by meeting at the United Nations in Geneva. And I had then a working session with the 3 teams of these 3 institutes Monday in Copenhagen. And some researchers of the institutes are already deployed in the region. They are currently in Amman. We're expected to submit an interim report to the Secretary General by the end of March, or before the end of March, because it is March 20th. And a final report must be completed by the 20th of April this year. So it is a very short time frame. We do our best to reach the objective that we've been assigned. And the final report will be made public. I'd like to make very clear, even if you might have questions for that, I want to preempt the questions. The role of the review group is not to investigate on the allegations of the potential involvement of some UNRWA personnel in the October 7th attacks. This is done in parallel within the UN by the OIOS, so it is separate. What the independent review group will do is investigate, I repeat, how UNRWA works with neutrality, as it must. We will specifically clarify the mechanisms, the process in place, the structures, and see if they ensure neutrality as they should, to the best of the power within UNRWA. And we also will look at how they've been implemented, of course, in practice. Not only they're fit for purpose, but how they are implemented. And we will also make, if necessary, recommendations as per the terms of reference. And my intention, I can tell you that my intention is indeed to make some recommendations. So I know there are a lot of expectations in this review. My goal is to deliver a report that is rigorous, evidence-based, and that would help UNRWA deliver on its mandate. And taking into account, in particular, the very difficult and quite unique situation it works currently and in a general context. As we know, for the past decades, it has been a very difficult task that has been assigned by the General Assembly to UNRWA. The context is even more difficult, but we do our best so we can help UNRWA deliver on this mandate given by the General Assembly. So that's it for me. I can take a couple of questions, then I have to rush to a series of meetings, including quite soon.
Okay, let's start. EDA.
Up to you.
Thank you very much, Madam Colonna. Edith Lederer from the Associated Press.
Good to see you again, man.
Nice to see you. 2 questions. First, Can you tell us if you've spoken to the Israelis and have they promised to cooperate with your investigation? And secondly, what was the message that you received today from the Secretary General?
Thank you for those two questions. Of course, it would be useful. It is, in my view, absolutely necessary to meet with Israeli officials, as well as with the Palestinian authorities, and with, as many as I can, member states, donors especially. So a request has been issued to meet with Israeli officials. I don't have an answer back, but we just started a week ago, and I think I sent my letter or the note verbal the day before yesterday regarding Israel and the PA. I will use the opportunity of my presence in New York today and tomorrow, leaving Saturday, to meet some foreign ministers that will come to New York for a different reason, the Ukraine meeting of the Security Council. But I will liaise with as many member states as I can. Second, the message delivered to me today by the Secretary General is actually the message that he delivered to me, not today, but when he proposed me to take over this very sensitive and hopefully useful mission, that is to find the ways and means to see if UNRWA works within its power, and in that context that we all know, does everything it can to ensure neutrality, which is one of the basic principles of the agencies, and a principle that's difficult to respect in the current circumstances, but must be respected. So I see absolutely no other desire from the Secretary General but to go and ensure as much as we can, as much neutrality that could be reached within the context of today.
James, Al Jazeera.
James Bays from Al Jazeera. In terms of cooperation with the Israelis, you say you requested it, and yet the United Nations acted on Israeli allegations, and yet the UN says it's never seen the evidence that those allegations are based on. So should the Israelis not only be cooperating with you, but with the United Nations and the OIOS, and doesn't set a very good precedent for your inquiry that they're not actually providing the evidence to the United Nations? And even the US intelligence communities reported today that they cannot verify and haven't been given all the evidence. Is it not time for Israel to show all the relevant parties what they have so that the UN and the international community can get to the bottom of this?
If I may not correct you, but be precise in my sayings, I did not ask Israel for its cooperation. I'm positive, and I have no reason to believe that there would not be such cooperation. I asked Israel, I put forward a request for a meeting with the Israeli government. So let's assume that the cooperation will be there anyway, but my request is on a meeting, not on the cooperation. I'm not the best placed person to answer your question, because again, these allegations are not taken in charge by the review group. They are of the responsibility of OIOS, and so you should address your question to this section of the United Nations. I'm sure that they do hope to receive information, if not evidence, but this is their task. It's a separate issue.
OIOS don't take press questions, sadly.
I'm sorry, but I'm not the OIOS. I have enough to do. Maybe one last question, because these French ladies have a privilege. Even though I'm not representing France here. I was happy to do it in the past, but
We're
this
interested. I'm Carrie Norton for Le Monde, Radio France et Radio Suisse.
Merci.
Vous avez moins de 2 mois pour faire cet
Oui.
audit général sur l'impact éventuellement qui aurait pu avoir, et si l'UNRWA était avait été corrompu ou pressurisé. Est-ce que vous avez pour objectif d'aller sur place à Gaza comment concrètement, en tout cas, vous allez faire sinon ce rapport?
L'objectif, en effet, de cette mission importante et délicate, je le redis, qui nous a été confiée par le secrétaire général, est de permettre aux donateurs, aux plus grands d'entre eux, mais en fait à tous, de retrouver, lorsqu'ils l'auraient perdu ou lorsqu'ils auraient des doutes, confiance dans la façon de fonctionner de l'UNRWA, de façon à permettre à l'UNRWA d'accomplir son mandat. Je pense en effet qu'il serait utile pour le groupe, au moins pour les chercheurs, peut-être pour la présidente aussi, je ne sais pas, de voir sur place à Gaza dans quel contexte se déroule ce mandat de l'UNRWA qui en est venu à devoir assurer un très grand nombre de services que personne d'autre qu'elle ne rend. Est-ce que ce sera possible? Je ne le sais pas encore, mais nous ferons cette demande, car je crois que ce serait utile de voir en effet comment les choses se passent en particulier en ce moment. Okay, thank you so much. No regrets.
Will you be working at all with OIOS? Will you be sharing information?
I'm sure we can talk, but this is separate. I want to be very clear that their mission is separate, and my mission is not to investigate.
But you'll be asking them for information about UNRWA.
No, not so far. I mean, we just started. So I do not exclude that we have to talk, but this is not the plan. It's really a separate mission. Merci beaucoup.
To put a request to visit Gaza to the Israeli side?
I suppose so. They are currently, in capacity to say yes to such a request. But I'm more thinking about some of our researchers. They have experience of the field. Many of them have a UN pass, so the best place to do that. But I ask for it anyway. Thank you. Thank you.